The prospect said yes. And so you send them an invoice, you send them a client agreement, and then the next day they email you back and say, I'm sorry, I've changed my mind. Or worse, you never hear from them again. In today's Sales Tips for Success, I'm going to teach you 3 things you must do to prevent buyer's remorse. Hey there, I'm Nafissa Shireen, success coach for entrepreneurs, and welcome to Living Forward TV for the best tips, mindset hacks, strategies, and what I love to call strategic woo, all designed to help you make massive leaps in your income so that you can grow a business you absolutely love. Consider subscribing to my channel and click the bell notification and you will be on your way. I want to tell you a secret. When I first started my business, I really sucked at sales. It was more than when I first started. It actually went on for a while. And even then, when I would actually get a few people to say yes, about 80 to 90% of them would back out within a couple of days, or worse, completely ghost on me. Has that ever happened to you? If so, tell me about it below and tell me your experience with it. I think we've all been there, and I know it doesn't feel very nice when it happens, and that's why it's important to learn how to prevent it. One of the things I learned as I learned how to master sales and learned how to get to yes, that part of mastering that sales was also keeping the yes. And now, today in my business, when a prospect says yes and becomes a client on the phone, they almost never back out, no matter how scared they are or no matter what comes up for them. I teach these strategies to all my clients, and by the end of this video, you're also going to learn the 3 things you need to do to prevent buyer's remorse and keep your prospect's yes a yes. And make sure you stay right till the end, because I've got not 1, but 2 incredible resources for you that will really help you in your business. The first is my guide called Get More Sales Calls to teach you how to find more warm leads and prospects and get them on your calendar. And the second is I'm peeling back the curtains and I'm going to give you my onboarding strategies that have been proven over the last few years to keep that client's yes a yes. Before we dive into the 3 strategies that you need to have to prevent buyer's remorse, I do want to take a little bit of time to talk a little bit about why it happens and why people might back out, because it's important for you to understand the psychology and what the buyer goes through so that you can have compassion and, more importantly, be prepared for it. You see, as much as people want a different result or a different experience in their life, getting there requires them to be, do, and have something completely different than what they're used to. And that process of getting there can be really scary. Somebody may not approve, it may be a lot of work, it may push them out of their comfort zone, and it usually involves money. And so when that fear overpowers their desire, no matter how strong that desire was in the moment, when the fear overpowers it, it becomes so much easier to say no than to move forward and get what they really want. And that's what this training today and this video is all about. It's to help them not lose that enthusiasm so that they do get what it is they want. Okay, the first thing you have to do and have to be aware of is that keeping that yes starts long before you ever get to the yes. It starts in the sales and enrollment process. If it feels like you're pitching or selling or convincing or pushing them, then it's your idea for them to buy, not theirs, and you're kind of hooped from the start. The way I teach you to sell is all about asking questions and really engaging your prospect so that they make a decision to buy long before you ever make an offer to sell. In a nutshell, I can tell you what those questions are. They are, what do you want? Why do you want it? Why don't you have it? What's it costing you not to have it? And how committed are you to changing this? Now, of course, how you word those questions and how you present those questions will change and adapt based on the client you're working with, the business you're in, and what you're offering. But that is the basic framework of the type of questions that you're trying to elicit from your prospect. Because each of those questions, you're getting valuable information, and the client's getting valuable information too, because it's in their own words, on what it is they really want, on what it is their pain points are, and how important it is to them to solve that problem, and what the value of it is to them to solve that problem. And with each of these questions, one builds on the other. It all becomes a micro conversion before you move to the next one, helping that prospect uncover their own urgency to make a change and to move forward. And when it's their desire that creates their decision to buy, and not your pitching, the chances of them backing out are greatly reduced right off the top. Here's a bonus question that you want to make sure you always ask them. When they tell you what their commitment level is to solving the problem, you want to make sure you also ask them what would stop you. Everybody has a stopping point. And if you can help the prospect identify that before you make an offer, then you can address it right there so that it's covered. And then after you get off the phone and stuff comes up for them, if that stopping point comes up, they've already dealt with it. They've already made a commitment to themselves on that call that they weren't going to let it stop them. And the second thing you want to do is that once they say yes, they want to move forward, you want to invite them to complete their yes by making a non-refundable deposit. And you want to get their credit card number right then, right there on that initial call and their permission to charge it. Now, as a matter of good business practice and to stay in good standing with your merchant service provider, you may want to wait until you actually get the client's signed agreement back before you actually process the card. But that's just back-end operations. And there's things you can do, which we're going to talk about in point number 3, to really encourage the client to get that contract back to you faster. Like I said, we'll elaborate on some of what those are in point number 3, but usually you can start them off with something right away and say, as soon as we get your contract back, I'm going to send you this, or you're going to get that, whatever that is, an assessment and intake, a questionnaire, a self-paced exercise to make them feel like they're starting right away. And they're going to want to get that contract back to you right away because in their mind, they've already paid you, so they're going to want to get their goods. So they're going to get you the contract so that they can get their goods. Okay, now I know this is where a lot of entrepreneurs chicken out and back out. They figure they've already said yes. I don't want to seem pushy. Can't I just send an invoice? No, you can't. Because the moment that client gets off the phone and they're no longer in your energy, the chances of the excitement going away are real. It really can happen. And here's the thing. If asking for a deposit once they've said yes makes them back out, you probably actually never had the sale to begin with, so it's probably best just to find out right then and there. But most likely, when somebody has said yes, they want to commit. They want to take that next step. They want to go out of churning and go to certainty and know that what's going to happen, yes. And so committing with a deposit helps them step forward. It helps them create confidence. It helps them know that they're actually going to get what they want. I know for me, like when I decide to go forward and do something, it's never real till I make the deposit. The deposit makes it real for them, and it's exciting. And if you can take yourself out of it, because all that stuff that you're worried about, like that's about you. It's not about the client. That's your own stuff. Don't give that to the client. Let the client have that experience. Because then you can really, truly understand what a deposit is. It's a gift the client gives to themselves to commit to themselves that they're not going to back out on themselves. And the third thing you want to have in place is a really thorough and strong onboarding process. Once that client has said yes and they've put that money on the line, they are going to have some fear and panic show up. Of course, even though they don't back out, there's still that feeling of, oh my God, what did I do? Especially if you are a high-end service. And so you want to make sure that you have a really thorough onboarding process where the client feels engaged from the minute they say yes, that they don't just hand their credit card over and just get a bill and a whole bunch of what if thoughts. You want to welcome them with emails, send them exercises they can do right away. And I don't care what business you're in. I know some people have said to me in the past, well, you're a coach, so you can give them coaching exercises. No, that's not true. It doesn't matter what business you're in. If you're an interior designer, you can get them to create a Pinterest board and get it to you within 5 days, right? Like there's things you can do to help your client immediately get into action and feel committed to the process and feel like they've started working with you right away. And you want to make sure you do that. In our company, we have a whole series of emails that go out, a procedure that we do. Our operations manager contacts them. We do all of that to make the client feel engaged from the moment they say yes. And if possible, sometimes we even commit their first appointment or VIP day on the call where they say yes, so that it feels real. Now, I have said I'm going to share with you, and you can get below this video, my exact onboarding strategies for what I do in my company that has made sure that everybody that says yes stays a yes. And you know, one of the things we do address as well, a couple of days after they say yes, I have an email that goes out that says, are you having a holy crap moment? What did I just do? And we talk about it because it's important to address it. And I want the client to feel like I get it. And that also commits engagement and buy-in from the client. So there you have it. It's really not that big a deal and it's not that complicated. The 3 things you need to do, and I'm just going to summarize them again to keep your client's yes a yes, is 1, make sure you have commitment long before they ever actually do say yes. The second is when they say yes, get them to complete that yes by giving you a non-refundable deposit and get a credit card number on that initial call. And the third is to have a thorough and complete onboarding and welcome process. You have to understand that saying yes sometimes can feel like such a big deal to the client, and you want your client to know that you understand that. And so when you do these 3 steps and you have the onboarding process, you help them feel engaged and committed from the beginning, and you help keep that excitement up, and you help keep that excitement at a level where it can combat any fears that they have. Of course, they're still going to have fear, especially if it's a big investment. But when you do these 3 things, you help support them the whole way, and they are so going to appreciate it. Now, if you're wondering, well, where the heck can I find people to make offers to? I have another resource for you. You can grab it below. It's all on how to get sales calls by getting more warm leads and prospects on your calendar. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with someone who you know needs it and give me a thumbs up below. Also, I would love to get to know you personally and get to know you a little bit better. So I want to invite you to join me in the free Living Forward TV Facebook community. It's a great environment where you can network, grow your business, and get to meet other amazing entrepreneurs who are up to incredible things. All you have to do is go to livingforwardcommunity.com, click the Join Now button, and I'll see you on the inside.